defense front, we want to go, as usual, to Phil Berg in Philadelphia, distinguished lawyer, former candidate for governor and senator in the Democratic primaries of the state of Pennsylvania, former member of the Democratic State Committee, Democratic County Chairman of Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And that's Phil Berg, the Alpha Birther. Welcome, Phil.
In Washington, D.C. right now at that convention.
Billy, could you speak up? You're breaking up a little bit on the cell.
Yes. I just lost you. Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In Washington, D.C. at the CPAC convention. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you got to speak legato, right? Keep it all coming out.
You got it. I'm here in Washington, D.C. Pleasure to be on the show with you on our weekly show.
We're having some technical difficulties. We're going to keep trying, though. I think Phil is telling us that he's at this CPAC, right, the Conservative Political Action Conference. And I guess we've lost him. Maybe we can try that again, if we could. If the studio could give it the old college try here, we'll try it again. So this is of course CPAC, right? This is the gathering of conservatives and not a few reactionaries, I would also add, but there are some conservatives there, and there are some people of goodwill. So let's see what it is. I know Phil is continuing this effort. Is there a chance to get him back? Hello. Let's see if I can get the studio to retry that number, if at all possible. And maybe we get Phil to go to a better place in the building. Is anybody there in Minnesota? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So do bear with us. We're trying here. So in the meantime, Conservative Political Action Conference, we had Mitt Romney speaking there at the beginning. Palin says she won't go. We had this character Rubio, reactionary from Florida, and I will comment later in the program about how the new look Republican stealth reactionary candidate McDonnell of Virginia is taking the mask off in a chilling, horrendous attack on the education system and the health system of the state of Virginia, which is not that great to begin with. This is $2.2 billion of cuts that McDonnell wants to make and take it all out of the hide of the average people in the state. He will not. He stubbornly refuses to raise taxes on his rich friends. And, of course, something could be done in that direction, right, for the multimillionaires of Middleburg and the horse country. But rather, he wants to take $750 million out of public education and another $250 million out of the healthcare system. He wants to increase the requirements for Medicaid. And right now, you have to have one foot in the grave in Virginia to get on Medicaid. So we're still waiting for Phil. Let's see if we can get him back. Anyway, I noticed this. This is big news here in the Washington, D.C. area. Let's just go through some of the details of this. The Washington Post, it was really a national story. They put it on the Metro page on Wednesday. Governor pushing cuts in private. $1 billion to be taken out of health and schools. To combat deficit, McDonnell calls for leaner services. Now, McDonnell's an important guy because this is the model for the Scott Brown, right? When Mitt Romney sponsored the Scott Brown candidacy in Massachusetts, he modeled it on Governor Robert F. McDonnell of Virginia. And the idea is you're a reactionary, but you don't tell how reactionary you are. You make some gestures in the direction of the Tea Party, enough to dupe them, but basically you try to be a sunny optimist, and kind of moderation is the keynote. But now we see the content of the moderation. $730 million will be gouged out of K through 12 education. $300 million from health programs under the cuts proposed by McDonnell, or which, better yet, which he will propose. He's cooking them up in secret, and usually in Virginia, this is done in a more public way. So he's actually more secretive. There's no putting this on C-SPAN. It's all been leaked. Okay, is he? So
I'm
welcome
here.
back.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Before. Yes, go ahead. Start from the beginning.
I'm on a landline now. I'm in Washington, D.C. at the CPAC convention.
Great.
And getting an excellent response from a number of people. I just did a 15-minute interview with the John Birch Society.
Great.
We're trying hard here. And our biggest news now, I'm glad you mentioned the fact that I think I'll take credit for it, my press release regarding the birth certificate march on Washington was the day before the National Prayer Breakfast, and that's when Obama mentioned about his citizenship. So I think we're making inroads. I think we're getting to him. Also, the past 3 days, Glenn Beck has mentioned my name, put my picture up on his blackboard, and is making some statements I don't appreciate, but I hope to confront him tomorrow. He's the keynote speaker here on Saturday.
Well, did he spell your name right?
I'm going to challenge him to be on an on-air debate. He'll probably turn me down. But more important, we're getting a fabulous response to our birth certificate march on Washington. We don't have a date for it yet. It's going to be at the end of May, beginning of June, and we're really hoping that we get lots of people. We're asking people that they send us information at the present time, send us a copy of mail, fax, or email a copy of their birth certificate to us. But we plan a birth certificate march on Washington. But really, the most crucial issue right now is not that. The most crucial issue is not where he was born. That's argument's sake. But if you go on the Internet, they're fighting about that. But then we present the issue of the fact of him being an Indonesian citizen. Obama became a citizen of Indonesia, and it's our belief that he still is. Again, I said before, he's a phony, he's a fraud, he's the biggest hoax. It's hard to refute this because in his book he refers to the fact that his stepfather, Lolo Soetoro, went back to Indonesia before his mother and he. And when he got there, he immediately went to school. Well, Indonesia was at war. The only ones who could go to school was those people that were considered a natural of Indonesia. And he was either adopted or acknowledged by his stepfather. He mentions my stepfather. He went to school there. We have a copy of his school record on the website. And my website is obamacrimes.com, and he's on there. We ask that everyone go to obamacrimes.com and really take a look at it and send us a contribution. Also, send us a copy of your birth certificate. And more important, send it to everyone you know. Spread the word around that we're there. I really believe the courts are taking their time. But can you imagine a huge march on Washington with people with a birth certificate demanding that Obama either show his or resign from office? I think we can. Remember out there, everyone, each person listening to this must show your birth certificate between 1 and 10 times in your lifetime. You definitely need it for Little League. You definitely need it for a passport. And you need it for many other situations. You need it for school or marriage. And the best story I have, I repeated it before, is the 13-year-old who registered for school asked the principal, how come I had to show my birth certificate to register for school and Obama didn't have to show his to become president? So really, that's the critical issue right now. And really, we're tired of this stuff with Obama. We have to raise the level.
So the music is telling us it's the end of the segment. Hang on, we'll bring you back for a couple of parting words.